So girls, 3 years ago, I was in your place. I was new at Foxcroft. I'd moved from a city that I called home for the majority of my life, and I had left a school where I had been a teacher and administrator for many years. At Foxcroft, I didn't know anyone's name. I didn't know any of the traditions. I was nervous. And yet coming to Foxcroft has been one of the most incredible blessings of my life, and I have grown so much from the experience. And as Chloe so wonderfully described, this year, I was part of the squeals and the hugs and the welcoming back that is really such a part of our school. So parents and guardians, I've also been in your shoes. My husband, Reed, and I have 2 daughters, Eliza, who's 25, and Jane, who is 21. She's starting her senior year at college tomorrow morning. I know what you're feeling. We have sent our daughters off on new adventures over the years with a combination of sadness about the passing of their childhood, worry about their adjustment, and excitement for the incredible opportunities that are ahead of them. So chances are you may be feeling a bit of the mix of those emotions for your daughter. That's normal, and we're here to help you and to help her make a smooth transition. So while I'm talking about parents, I want to tell you a story about my mother, a lesson she taught me when I was a little girl, probably 5 or 6. I don't exactly remember when, but it is a lesson I will never forget. My mother and I were doing some shopping in a store called Woolworths. It was an older and simpler version of Target, a variety department store where you could buy different items from household to garden to office product and, yes, toys. Now, the details are a little fuzzy in my memory, but after we paid for our purchases and we were loading up the car in the parking lot, I pulled some model glue out of my coat pocket. Now, this is a little bit of a digression to explain. Back when I was little, a favorite pastime of my adored big brother was putting together model cars or trains or planes, and I idolized him, and I always wanted to be with him when he was doing that. So when my mother saw me, her face turned very stern, very stern. She whisked me by the arm, took me straight back into the Woolworths, and asked to see the store manager. I was hauled into this little office where a balding, rather rotund man greeted my mother. She made me hand over the model glue and apologized for stealing it. And then she paid for the glue, which I never saw again, by the way. Now, I don't remember if I took the glue on purpose or not, and that isn't really important. My intention, as you see, didn't really matter. It was my action that had the same outcome. And I will never forget that store manager staring down his nose through his thick glasses at me and using words like shoplifting and police. I was a very little girl. And I will never forget my mother's steely eyes. That day, my mother instilled in me lessons that have helped shape my character to this day. She taught me about respect for other people's property and for the people in positions of authority. She taught me accountability. When you do something wrong, you accept the responsibility and you apologize. No buts about it. And something I didn't understand until I was much older. She taught me integrity. For me, integrity is what you do when no one is watching. So what do I mean by this? No one caught me pocketing the glue, but that didn't matter. When it was clear I had taken it without paying, there were 2 choices. We could go home and forget about it, or we could make amends. The store would never be the wiser until they did their inventory, but I would have lived with the knowledge that I'd done something wrong and had gotten away with it. There would be no integrity. I believe integrity is the alignment between what you say you believe and what you actually do. It's the alignment between your public self and your private self. And interestingly, the dictionary definition of integrity is the possession of firm principles, completeness, wholeness. So integrity goes beyond honesty to denote unity of the self. As an adult and a mother, I now also appreciate that my mother showed her sense of integrity by her actions. How often have I, and frankly you, parents in the room, been in my mother's shoes, running endless errands and chauffeuring my children to different activities. For her to stop what she was doing and take me back into the store to see the manager must have been extremely irritating to her. She could just as easily have scolded me and sent me home, saving herself precious time and effort. And instead, she showed me integrity. When no one from Woolworths was watching her, she knew that I was watching her. And her integrity made her take the action that she knew was the right action, even if it caused her inconvenience. So today, we welcome you to Foxcroft, a learning community that will provide incredible opportunities for you to grow as a student by studying literature and physics and a world language, and to hone important skills such as research methodology, quantitative reasoning, creative problem solving, digital communications, and so much more. You will do homework and problem sets, and you will write research papers and lab reports and take exams. You will have an opportunity to perform in theater productions on this very stage or master playing an instrument. You are joining a community where curiosity and intellectual and artistic pursuits are highly valued by faculty and students alike. You'll be able to pursue your passions and develop new interests by learning from your peers. And we know from our graduates that they feel well prepared for their college, and they meet with great success as evidenced in their scholarly and professional attainment. The academic preparation is essential to our mission as a college preparatory school with a rigorous curriculum. But a Foxcroft education is so much more than going to college. Foxcroft offers you the opportunity to grow as a whole person. When Ms. Charlotte founded the school, she adopted the motto, mens sana in corpore sano, or a healthy mind and a healthy body. She knew well, before science validated her instincts, that exercise and healthy living habits, including time spent outdoors and a good night's sleep, helped students learn. She also instilled in her students a strong sense of character through the development of an honor system and through high expectations for students to be honest, respectful, and responsible as individuals, but also to uphold these standards as an entire community. Indeed, as part of your orientation, you're going to be learning about Foxcroft's community expectations, reviewing the rules, and reading the handbook. Old girls are going to help the new girls learn our policies and procedures, from dress code to sign-in to cell phone rules. And understanding and following these rules are really important. And all of us are good people, and we mean to do the right thing. None of us wants to get in trouble. But what I would argue that is what is most important, more important than following the letter of the rules, for surely there cannot be a rule to cover every single situation, is that we strive to live by the spirit of the rules, which have their basis in our community expectations for character and responsibility, and for empathy and understanding. And when we fall short, we make amends, we forgive, and we learn. So these values are the basis for a strong sense of community that we enjoy at Foxcroft. When we live by our values, we build trust, and we have freedoms and opportunities that would not be available if these values were not part of our culture. Students, you can leave your backpack in the hallway, and when you come back, you can expect for it to be there. When you display artwork, this beautiful artwork in the hallway, we can rest assured that it won't be defaced. By being honest with your teachers about not completing an assignment, you can expect your teachers to help you understand concepts that were confusing, or to help you balance your workload and activities so that you can do your homework and get a good night's sleep. And when students do their own academic work, and when they give credit to outside sources through proper citations, you can trust that your grade is a true reflection of your effort and that no one got an unfair advantage. This is what honest scholarship is all about. These values come to life not only when we follow the rules, as outlined in that handbook, but when we live them out, most importantly, when no one is there to see us do so or to catch us if we break them. So girls, you're going to get to know our incredible staff who work tirelessly to make this campus clean and safe, that our toilets flush, that's really important, that our grounds are mowed. Their work is every bit as valuable to your educational experience as your teachers were preparing lessons and grading papers. Now, one beloved member of our operations staff is Tina Bowman. She's pretty awesome. Returning students will appreciate how beautiful the campus looks. Schoolhouse, new classrooms were just a few of the projects that she took on this summer. When she and I were talking about how can we make sure to take care of the dorms and the academic buildings now that we've created these beautiful renovations, she told me a story, and she gave me permission to share it with you today. She told me last year she was working in one of the buildings, and around the corner she overheard one student say to another something like this: "What are you doing? How can you be writing on that wall? Tina just painted it. Go get a paper towel and clean it off." Tina told me she didn't see who the students were, or at least she wouldn't tell me. But she was touched that one student would find her voice literally and do the right thing by calling another student out for being disrespectful to school property. This girl showed integrity. She did the right thing when no adult was watching her, when no one would praise her for her stand, and when, in truth, she risked backlash from the other student. And I know many, many other instances when students would show incredible responsibility and integrity, even when it risks some kind of consequence, like being grounded or making a friend mad. Living with integrity and showing respect and kindness is hard. And it's been made harder by advances in technology. And what do I mean? Well, our devices can be powerfully wonderful tools. I know how many steps I took today, and I can check my calendar instantaneously. But they can also pose a threat to our values. An answer on a test you're taking is right at the tip of your fingers. There goes your integrity. Our attention is fixated on Snapchat or Instagram, and we walk by that person on the sidewalk and don't say hello. We show disinterest at best and rudeness at worst. We are swept in a vortex of social media and post something disrespectful or malicious about a group of people or an individual, showing a meanness of spirit that is not part of our community. And it's so much easier to do because it's harder to monitor people's actions on our devices. To have integrity means to act with our devices the way we would act if we were face to face with people, even when we're not. Some people have called it the grandmother rule. How many of you have heard that? The grandmother rule. Would you be willing to show your grandmother what you've said or done with your cell phone? And if you can answer yes, then you're a person who has great integrity, and I'll bet you're a really nice person too. When people visit Foxcroft, they're impressed by the authenticity of our community, the genuineness of our students, the real leadership and confidence that you've seen demonstrated all day today, and the trust that we place in our girls. Visitors are drawn to the warmth of our relationships and the spirit and loyalty we show to one another and to the school. These qualities in our community don't happen magically. They happen with intentional work to uphold our community values and by the diligence shown by each member of the Foxcroft family, students, teachers, administrators, staff, parents, and alumni, to be our best selves and to encourage one another to be their best selves. And in doing so, we create wholeness as a community. So back to speaking of grandmothers, I'll leave you with this one story that I think sets a great example for us to follow. A 25-year-old man from Manchester, England, was visiting his grandmother when he noticed she was doing a Google search. Some of you may have read this, it tickled my funny bone. She typed her request to Google using please and thank you. I asked my Nan why she used please and thank you, he said, and it seems she thinks there's someone, a physical person at Google headquarters, who is replying to her search question. She thought that by being polite and using her manners, the search would go better. He tweeted about it, and the tweet went viral, getting picked up by Google itself and by the BBC. So the grandmother, May Ashworth, was born in 1930. That's pretty amazing that she was even knowing what Google was. And she describes herself as not being very tech savvy. She only uses Google a few times a week, she said. I thought, well, somebody's put it in, so you're thanking them, she told the BBC. So Google replied to her, Dearest Ben's Nan, hope you're well. In a world of billions of searches, yours made us smile. Oh, and the answer is 1998. Thank you. This year, let's challenge ourselves to live with integrity, to show respect and kindness, to serve others in our community, to be a friend to all about us, and to do so even when no one is watching.